Ladies and gentlemen, and all that are watching, this is Dr. Jonathan Ellerby with the 12 at 12, and I am 30 minutes late today, so probably no one's going to watch this live, but I am committed to offering you something to support your life, to support this time of change for you, and all that we are going through. The simple truth is that I was just caught up in reviewing schoolwork with my son, and I don't have a watch that has multiple alarms anymore, so that's it. There's no great tragedy or setback or anything at all. But interestingly, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is the power of being in the moment. And what does that mean in terms of healing, in terms of coping with difficult times, in terms of what we can learn in this pandemic? So, we're still doing 12. I'm checking my watch. Let's take a breath. Thank you. I can see there's some of you out there. And this poem by Rilke is not only a beautiful poem about embracing life, but about the way the embrace of life lifts us to another awareness. And there's a little bit of humor in the first line because it kind of speaks to the fact that I showed up late today. So let's close our eyes. Let's sit comfortably but alert. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath in, no special technique, and then a big sigh out. Next, inhale in through the nose, down towards the belly, long exhale, and just feel yourself soften and let yourself become aware of whatever you're experiencing in this moment. Without story, without judgment, just breathing into the moment. And Rilke writes in the Book of Hours, "I come home from the soaring in which I lost myself. I was a song, and the refrain which is God is still roaring in my ears. Now I am still and plain, no more words. To the others I was like a wind, I made them shake. I'd gone very far as the angels, and high, where light thins into nothing. But deep in the darkness is God." So the reason why I love this reading in particular for today, aside from the comment about being lost, is that as we are starting to hear that different cities and countries and communities are beginning to explore what it means to go back to life as normal, so to speak, or as usual, so to speak, we must begin to ask ourselves with more vigor than ever, what are we going to take away from this time? And if we still have quarantine days left, I encourage you to cherish them. Cherish them. Before you know it, the pace of life will take you. Before you know it, the demands, the bills, the distractions will fill your mind again. And one of the things that we have been invited again and again through this strange time in the world is to explore and experience what it means to truly slow down. And in the slowing down of mind and life, to become more aware. And in the greater awareness, to learn to listen. To listen to the way life speaks to us and through us. And more than that, to discover the extraordinary experience of life that is always waiting for us through our senses. So think of it this way. Our society, our lives, for most of us, have become mentally oriented, fixated on right ideas, right thinking, intelligence, intellect, and the story we have. We evaluate the success of that mind based almost purely on our emotional state. And all of it remains unquestioned because the pace keeps moving, keeps engaging the mind, keeps triggering the heart. When we slow down, it is not just about being more spacious or skillful with your thoughts. And it's actually not about being happier the way you might think of it. As we slow down, as we come more and more into the moment, not only do we develop a more spacious, patient, observing, and skillful relationship with the mind and the heart, the emotional world, but more significantly, we begin to remember and discover the aspects of self that we have lost. Intuition, our sense of energy, the feeling of connection, not just the number of followers, but the feeling of connection, not just the length of the meeting or the cost of the meal, but the feeling of connection. The wisdom that lives in our sensual experience of each moment. The bright colors in our salad. The rich contrasts of the white cup and the dark coffee and the aroma. The power of slowing down and being in the moment is not only about developing a new relationship to the things that drive and fill our lives, but more significantly, I believe that slowing down and being in the moment is about remembering all the facets of self that we have forgotten, overlooked, undermined, neglected, and just plain forgot. It is now seen as something archaic, something ancient, and in many cases, for many of us, something almost absurd, to say that the mind, and I remember this was in the introduction to Return to the Sacred, that book, the mind is but a small aperture through which we see and relate to life. But we are blessed with a host of other ways of knowing, other ways of being. Sound, texture, other senses, spiritual senses, vision, dream, again, intuition at the heart of it all. So I invite you to embrace deeply with intention and true commitment to experience and learn from the significance of slowing down, being in the moment, and paying attention to that which is not your normal way of being, to that which arises when the mind and the emotional dramas grow quiet. While the mind and the emotional world are powerful forces, the most powerful forces on earth, in fact, when united, they are, you might say, the vehicle. They are the engine. But they must not be the drivers in your life. When you put heart and mind together, you have the power to move energy unlike any other force on the planet. But they must not drive the process. We are in the moment where we must learn for ourselves, our communities, our cultures, our countries, our planet. That there is more to the human experience, and that we must reclaim the lost dimensions of being so that we might transform our world with our world, in relationship to our world, and that means in relationship to all creatures, all beings, all natural powers. And so, with that, I want to apologize for being late again today, but I kind of hope this was a good one. And please, if you haven't downloaded your free copy of Spiritual Experience, check it out on my website or on Facebook. It goes very, very deeply into this idea that there are other ways of knowing and other ways of being. I think it's a lot of fun, actually, to read, and I hope we'll get to talk about it one day soon. Again, check out what's going on at the Althea Center, Denver. We have an amazing Earth Day event tomorrow. Starts at 10:30 in the morning Mountain Time. I'm also running a Sacred Solitude retreat this week, so look that up in the events and classes for Althea. And there's all kinds of other good things happening. So let's do this together. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.